you know, spit on you, call you names, and then call back, oh, I love you. You know, those things happening to me, I did it to other people. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Whatever people do to you, you're more than likely to do to other people. And now you're being abused verbally or physically, and now you're verbally and physically abusing other people. It's just, you know, chain reaction. And that's not self-love either, you know. And then there's the physical aspects of self-love. You know, taking care of your body, washing yourself, making sure you know, whatever you like to do with your body, make sure you're doing it. And when you look in the mirror, you feel good. You know, that's self-love too. Making sure your hair looks nice, and, you know, whatever you consider, there's no, you know, guideline on what is nice and what's beautiful, right? There's no rule, you know, whatever you feel like is good, you know, like, don't let anybody say, oh, you need to look like this, or you need to look like that, you need to do this, do that, do whatever you feel is, you know, a good physical image for yourself. You don't have to wear makeup to be beautiful. You don't have to do all that stuff that other people are doing. You know, if you feel like being natural is beautiful, then be natural. That is you taking care of yourself and owning that, and just going, you know what, this is me, take it or leave it, take it or leave it, this is me, and own that. That's like self-love, trying to sum it up in like 5 minutes, but it's actually been 10 minutes. So I'm going to get to selfishness. I wouldn't say I'm a selfish person. I've been around people who I thought were selfish. And God, is it, you know, gross. It's really gross to be around selfish people. And I haven't had too much, you know, interaction with them. Again, I don't attract that. But I think we all can be selfish. I don't like to share everything. I like to share my snacks. I don't like to share my food. I'm not a person that shares food a lot, unless I have too much. Otherwise, I don't really want to share my food. You know, should I be banned off the face of the earth for that? I don't think so. But I don't think that would categorize me as a selfish person. I think the definition of selfish is someone who is does things, you know, only for the interest of themselves. And that's where it gets messy. Because it's like, are you only taking care of yourself for yourself? No, you're not. That's the difference. You're not taking care of yourself for yourself. You're taking care of yourself so you can be happy for your family and your kids and your friends and yourself and your spouse or whoever, you know, your coworkers, your boss, whatever, wherever you are. Everybody around you needs you to be in tip-top shape, needs you to be feeling good. They rely on you for something. There's something you're responsible for. You can't show up to work looking uncared and unkept. They're like, you need to go home today? You need a personal day? Come back and get it together. So I think that, you know, now an example of selfish, really quick. I'm trying to make this a short video. I can't make a short video for my life. Selfish. Waking up every day and not, oh God, this is tough, because I think everybody has a selfishness in them. So I'm really trying to be careful with the words that I choose, because I've never really thought about this like in depth. I just kind of made the video. I just want to like talk from here and be honest, right? So I think that selfishness is kind of, I would call it like a disease. Not a literal disease, but like a disease, right? Something happens, and I think you learn how to be selfish. I don't think selfishness is a way that you're born. You're not born selfish. You learn how to be selfish. When I consciously, when I think about times that I've been selfish, it's because I'm putting up like a wall around me. Not that I don't, like, I think about people, but I'm like the family member that's kind of like, you know, off, you know, doing her own. I'm not, you know, I love my family. I love spending time with my family. But I don't spend as much time with my family as I should. I'm kind of like, a side family member, like on the side. Like I'm there, everybody knows I'm there, and everybody checks in, are you alive, you okay? I might say that's selfish. Like I might check myself, I'm talking to myself, that's a little selfish. But then again, it's like, I felt like the world kind of like molded me into that. Like I was molded into that selfish part because of things that happened. Like, you know, it's like the wall was at the bottom, and then this happened, and then this, and then up, and then up. The wall keeps going up, and I become more selfish, or isolated is a better word. Does isolated mean you're selfish? I mean, selfish is such a broad, general word. There's so many like umbrellas underneath it. But I think everybody learns how to be selfish, and it's a protection. It's like it's a guard, you know. And some people try to like claim it. Oh, I'm just so selfish. Oh, I'm just too selfish. I don't know. I don't think it's anything to be proud of. But it's good to know it about yourself. I don't know. Selfish is such a general word. It's really hard to, it's not easy to define. I think, there's justification for acting selfish, or kind of staying away and taking care of yourself and not taking care of anyone else. You gotta be like conscious and use your heart. How does that feel to me? And ask yourself, am I being selfish? And it's so hard to talk about that. It's easier for me to talk about the self-love and the self-care because I learned how to do that. I just didn't do it. I had to learn how to love myself and learn how to love my son and learn how to love again. I think that I grew up and there was so much battering, and I can't even get into it, but there's so much abuse around me that I couldn't love. Like I was just like burnt, And then that kind of resulted maybe in some selfishness, like unconscious selfishness. I'm selfish and I don't even know it. But then when I sit down and think about it and I analyze it, I'm selfish. I'm doing some things that people would call selfish. It's a good thing that it's temporary. I think selfish is a temporary word. I think you can knock it out. You might have a moment when you're being selfish, and then you're not selfish anymore. I'm being selfish. All right, I'm not being selfish. It's not like you're always selfish. Always selfish. Oh God, I hope there's not people out there that are always selfish. Consistently selfish all the time, 24/7. I'm selfish all the time. I think there's periods of selfishness, like with my food. I'm selfish with my food. Again, not a bad thing, just a thing. But there's definitely a difference between self-care and loving yourself. My dad says, everything needs to have balance. Everything needs to have balance. So make a balance between self-care and selfishness. Don't love yourself so much that you don't care about anybody else. Check yourself. Know when you're being selfish. When is your self-care turning into selfishness? Like it's like a what's the word? It's like a degree, it's like self-care and then selfish, like you gotta like in the middle. You don't want to give yourself like too much to anything and anybody. Balance, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then know when to cut off and say that's enough. I'm finished right now. I'll be back. Hope to see you then. If not, then oh well. People should, if you have real friends around you, people that really love you, they should understand when you need a little self-time. That's not selfish. That's self-time. I need to bring myself together and to bring it in, bring it back in. I'm losing myself, right? losing it. I need a moment. So people who love you should understand that. People who love you should accept you the way you are, self and all. Continue to love yourself. Continue to care for yourself, because this is the last thing I'm going to say. Because when you love yourself, you will not allow abuse to happen. And when it does happen, you'll be quick to end it. End it. Because you love yourself too much to tolerate any type of abuse. I mean, the smallest type of abuse. Abuse is abuse. Great or small, it's abuse. And loving yourself will break that from happening. Peace.